Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here with another kind of first look at a Kickstart type project. So this is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. This is a Kickstarter project that was done... Why do I not... There we go. That's one thing I'm going to be talking about during this. This was done by Koji Igarashi. He is the person who did Symphony of the Night. He made Symphony of the Night, Symphony of the Night. Changed the Castlevania style to the what is now affectionately referred to as the Metroidvania style. So that's what this is. So this is also done. This is going to be done by Concept, which had a hand in Mighty Number 9. Now, I actually got really paranoid once Mighty Number 9 released and all of the really negative reviews were coming out about Mighty Number 9. I'm like, oh, well, Concept was involved with that. What's that going to say about Bloodstained? Now, I always have had more of a, personal connection to the Castlevania series than the Mega Man series. I love Mega Man. I played Mega Man. Mega Man 2 was one of the first games I ever played, honestly. So, yeah. I'm a little blinded by the franchises, but again, Castlevania kinda a little closer to home for me than Mega Man. So I'll be a little more critical of this one when it comes out, and probably also a little more blinded by, nostalgia. So that's something that will probably happen. But it's the nature of being a fan of a particular franchise. But just going off of this particular game, the demo that has been released, this is just the E3 demo. This isn't even, anything like a beta or really even close to an alpha. It is as alpha as possible while having a working version of the game. So, it's playing on PC, not the platform that I would, prefer to get it on. I actually backed it for PS4, so that's one thing, because mostly the controls, I have a Logitech gamepad, and it really does not seem to like this particular controller. It could be that it's just the particular controller, it's a crappy particular controller, but the controls are very uncomfortable for me. But I would be very, very surprised if at the time of the release that you could not change controls. But that's, again, something that we'd have to kind of be critical of. I fully expect there to be options to, change control layout, make things a little more, useful for certain people. Like, I do not like the button layout because I have an expectation from mostly playing Symphony of the Night. Again, it comes back to expectations. It all boils down to expectations. But playing through this demo, much like playing through the Indivisible demo, I have had a lot of fun just playing the demos, just enjoying, seeing the game in various stages of development. And that's one thing that I think people like from Kickstarter versus, traditional development, because it allows you to see behind the curtain, if you will. But it really does boil down to trusting the developer. That's... Like, I said with the Indivisible that it's an established company. And see, like this, I'm not holding onto the controller. Like, I was just kind of running in a direction. I'm not sure that's a problem with, like I said, my controller or the game controls themselves being wonky. Hard to say. A little hard to say. But, when talking about Indivisible, that is a company that, you know, has existing games. You can see the level of polish they've put on this style of game. Concept is an existing company as well. They have this... Mighty Number 9 wasn't their first game. This isn't going to be their first game. So it's... It is what it is, but... It's rather entertaining because... The other games that Concept have done. Azure Striker Gunvolt, a Mega Man-esque game that's very, I've heard compared to the Mega Man Zero series very favorably. Which a lot of people said if you wanted to play, you know, a Mega Man game instead of Mighty Number 9, play Azure Striker Gunvolt. But I've heard, you know, negatives about Gunvolt as well. So it's hit or miss. And again, the controls for this, I keep just running off into the distance. And I don't know why. But like I've played Skullgirls, so I trust the level of polish put on Indivisible will be, you know, comparable to the level of polish put on Skullgirls, because, you know, same developer, that's what they're doing. It's a little hard to compare, you know, Azure Striker Gunvolt to, you know, anything else, given, you know, basically the quality of the game. You've got one that's, you know, sprite-based 2D, one that's 3D-based but still 2D in terms of, you know, Mighty Number 9. So it's hard to gauge, you know, specifically what they're aiming to do with, or aiming to provide from one game to the other. But and it falls into, like, I want to say you have demos that, you know, help out, because I've really been enjoying these demos. I've been having fun playing Indivisible and Bloodstained, even with Bloodstained's control issues that are affecting me, which I would bet money are it's because of my controller, not necessarily because of the game development itself. But if I had to take a stab at it, I'd say this is because my my controller kind of sucks. But, you know, the long and short of it. But Mighty Number 9 had a demo, and I've seen videos of the demo, and I saw, you know, a lot of good. Like, everyone was expecting, like, this project's coming together, which I think is one of the reasons why people were so surprised, because the demo was different. It was so different from what they were showing off that they, again, had an expectation. But in this case, you have the expectation because of a demo, and it doesn't play out. Like, you notice that there are frame rate issues, you notice there are graphical issues, you notice there are, you know, bugs that plague specific versions of the games. So, there's only so much you can get from playing the demo. But the demo is a good place to start, but even again, you have things like the demo for Mighty Number 9, which people didn't like. In the long run, they liked the demo, but that didn't mean the final game came out well. It's the same thing for this. It's like we can say that, you know, the final game will be fantastic, but based off the demo, but long and short of it, it may not be. We don't know. So it's keeping expectations tempered, seeing, you know, how the game plays out, what you enjoy. If you enjoy the demo, hopefully you'll enjoy the final product, because hopefully the final product will be like the demo, but better. That's the overall hope. And in, you know, in the case of a lot of development like this, it's like, you know, you gotta trust that they're going to, like I said, do the development just better. But there's only so much trusting that you can do before it just becomes blind faith. So I'm fully hoping that this game lives up to the experience I've had thus far with just the demo, and, you know, improves upon the demo. It's like, I want the final version to be like the demo, but better. Instead of, you know, them having to say, oh, well, we weren't able to actually do this, so we had to cut this from the final product. That's not what anyone wants in game development at all. Like, I don't want to see things cut from the game. I want to see the game improved upon. I want to see people be able to enjoy the game. So, hopefully, that's the direction we'll be moving with this particular title. But again, I'm just having to keep my expectations tempered. Like, I enjoy the demo, but I know the demo is not representative of the final product. So, but it doesn't mean I'm going to give up and cancel my Bloodstained Kickstarter. Same with Indivisible or any other game that I happen to have backed for, you know, crowdfunding project. It just means that I'm going to not expect a huge AAA game, because I probably won't get it. But as long as I get a good game, that's the key. So, while again I did not support Mighty No. 9 in the end, I realize a lot of people have enjoyed it. So as long as you got your money's worth out of it, that's all that matters in terms of kickstarting projects and playing games in general. As long as you get the enjoyment out of it, you could enjoy the crappiest game ever. You could enjoy Superman 64. As long as you enjoy it, that's really the long and short of it. As long as you enjoy it, it's worth whatever you happen to feel it's worth. So yeah, don't give up on Kickstarter. Don't assume that just because a Kickstarter has a decent pedigree that it's going to be a great thing, but just because it's a Kickstarter project doesn't mean it's going to be a terrible game or it's going to be a crap game. Could be something really good in the end. So yeah, that's it for looking at the Indivisible and Bloodstained demos. I really hope, you know, if you've enjoyed just watching this, you go out and check the projects themselves. Because I really think Indivisible is going to turn out to be a great game. I love that demo. It's just a unique style. It's got a whole bunch of indie characters in it, things like Shovel Knight and things like that. And Bloodstained, it really feels like, you know, a Castlevania Symphony of the Night style game that, you know, is not stuck on a DS console like so many of them had been up until this point. So I'm remaining cautiously optimistic because the demos for both of these games are good. So, and if you have a Kickstarter project that you think I would be interested in, please comment on it. I love finding new games, independent games, because I really think, you know, the indie scene is really growing and expanding and turning into something completely new. So, yeah, go check these out. Send me projects you think I might be interested in, and I'll see what I can about, you know, showcasing them. So, yeah, hope you've enjoyed, and like I said, don't give up on Kickstarter, but temper expectations. So, till then, later, everyone.